Hello, Africa, and welcome to yet another exciting episode here at the Chiedza CheAfrica podcast. I am your host, Praise, and today I am joined by a brilliant young man from Zimbabwe. Yes, Zimbabwe people are raising the flag high into the skies. We might even reach Venus and Mars if you keep on us. We'll be waving our flag on other planets soon, not just but all the other planets in the solar system. So Bervin is going to introduce himself so that I don't take all the spotlight from him. Bervin, welcome to Chiedza CheAfrica podcast, and may you kindly introduce yourself. Who is Bervin to the Chiedza Che podcast viewers?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Bervin Nyasha Hillary Chikwangura. I'm an aeronautical engineer and also an aircraft maintenance engineer. I started my journey in Zimbabwe as an apprentice at Air Zimbabwe. Yes.
Thank you very much for that. Uh, into we're talking about your journey in as an aeronautical engineering, the journey to aviation as a community. So you have trained and worked across multiple countries from Zimbabwe. Now you're in the Middle East. So can you take us? What inspired your journey, and how far you have reached for you to be able to reach this stage today? And what are the early experiences that have shaped your journey into aviation, and not just into aviation, but also as an engineer within the aviation field?
Okay. So I'll answer step by step, and so that you get to understand everything. So, first of all, my journey, as I said, it started off in Zimbabwe as an apprentice at Air Zimbabwe, where I studied aircraft engineering. I was specializing in airframes and power plant. So that training, it wasn't just technical. It was the foundation of my discipline. It was also my foundation to know about safety culture and work ethic because we were really groomed into standard aircraft engineers who can work anywhere in the world and working hands-on with aircraft like Airbus A320, Boeing 737, Boeing 767. It gave me a solid grounding that shaped how I approach engineering even up to today. So I can say that it's that upbringing from Zimbabwe as an apprentice at Air Zimbabwe that has shaped me into the person I am right now. Because wherever I go, I'm just applying what I was taught, and now even if I go somewhere where they are advanced aircrafts, advanced systems, and stuff, I will be just improving. But the foundation and everything was set in Zimbabwe, and it's quite solid. Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna with its flowers that we said we are very good and so strong. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh,
you trained in Zimbabwe and worked also across different leading aviation areas. Can you also make one particular time you said this? This was obviously when you're growing up. "Hey, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor." But then we usually say without actually experiencing the spark that now fully drives us into a certain career path. For you, what was it that really said, "Fine, this is my calling. I'm sealing the seal on this one"?
so when you go for something, when you're growing up, we start with different kinds of careers. I want to be a doctor, I want to be a pilot, stuff. But now, as you go through your education system, as you go through your passions, you tend to see like what you naturally fall into. So for me, as someone who was interested in physics at some point, and also someone who had already decided because of my environment, because of the people who were around me, because of what I was seeing every day, even at school during assemblies, a plane would pass and everyone would keep quiet because the plane has to pass and the headmaster continues speaking. So for me, that was also a bear every day. Like, okay, this thing I need to know how does it work? How is it flying over us? So that drove me. So for me, I would say it's the environment, it's the people, the family, who were telling me like it's possible, you can do it. You know, my sisters would just come to me and say, what do you want to do? And then I would tell them about aircraft. Then they said, okay, we'll get you this research about these engineering fields, mechanical, aeronautical. So for me, mentioning aeronautical engineering, it was really foreign that time. But um, I'd say family and the environment and how I grew up shaped like uh, the passion and the drive to be where I am today. Yes.
uh, I think my takeaway is how even your family helped you research about the career path that you wanted to go into, support you with
Yes.
information, encourage you. I think this is something that most parents or even guardians out there need to take, write down, because when you enter into a certain career path, when and those around us research and see the growth of a certain industry that's on the drawing board. It's for me, it kind of makes things easier, even though some feel challenging. It makes things easier because you know the family is supporting anything is possible. Remit. I think this is something that African parents should grow into, supporting the dreams
That's
and
true.
everything that their children have. Now,
Yes.
let's the aviation industry itself. You've worked in Zimbabwe. Now you're working in the Middle East, which is far from home. Uh, can you, Africa, obviously, Africa is still growing in certain areas in terms of innovation, science, and technology. But from your technical, from the work that you have done so far, what are some realistic ways uh, African countries can implement to make it does keep growing so that they don't fall back and also actually meet international standards?
Okay, so for me, I think for the African aviation industry to grow, I think the brains we have them. When you take a person from high school and you put them into apprenticeship, or you take them to use it for aeronautical engineering, they will pass. But now the thing is with us making those system international, those systems, I mean, they have to be international. So how do we do that? We need to benchmark with probably certain airlines that are already big out there, certain schools that already are doing things well in aviation. I always talk about licensing because when I was an apprentice, we knew we were supposed to have to have a license, right? If you want to be aircraft maintenance engineers, um, first is the car's license, CAAZ license. We knew that, but when I went to the university, it was now a different story because those who wanted to be into maintenance, because aeronautics is broad, right? So those who wanted to be into maintenance did not really know much about licensing. So there are licenses that apply everywhere that are easily convertible, right, worldwide. Because when you work, if you want to be into maintenance, when you work in UAE, you need to have a GCAA license. It's local. When you work in Europe, you need to have a EASA license. It's also local to them. So those modules, the modules and the training that make students or graduates from the apprenticeship program, and the things that make them international are those courses, those modules, those licenses. So one might not get the license direct, but the courses at least they should have it so that they are benchmarked internationally. So that if they come here, coming from Zimbabwe, they'll just convert their license, maybe just write one or two modules, add more experience, and then they convert and they get the local license. Even if they go to Europe, they also do the same. So that is one area that I think is people in aviation in Zimbabwe as the the institutions that are driving aviation, they should benchmark with the international standards so that it's not difficult for people who are coming out of Zimbabwe, going out there to start again. Because for me, I have to start again, unfortunately. And because I'm into maintenance. All right. So yes, if you're into maintenance, that's one area I think it needs to be visited. And it is actually a matter of urgency if we are going to produce a lot of engineers in Zimbabwe. Yeah.
I think one thing that you have mentioned, part of licensing and all those extra modules and courses, because most people think or feel as if once you have graduated with your diploma, they think that's enough. They don't feel the need to add extra papers to that degree or that diploma. But here you are explaining the importance of licenses, the importances of adding extra papers to what you have already learned. Because yes, to be honest, because it's aviation after all, and coming from Zimbabwe, the international market, obviously you one will definitely face some scrutiny because people will be doubting, could they, you're from
Mm. Mm. You are coming from Zimbabwe. What do you have? They will doubt your skills. Yeah. Mm.
so I think it's important that the viewers should take note the importance of, and even the institutes that offers diplomas into aviation, they should really stress. I think the part of licensing must be the 101 module.
Exactly, exactly. That's true. Yeah. Mhm. Mm.
Now, yeah, in terms of what opportunities do you think exist for young Africans in engineering? Are the opportunities more open, or they're still a bit rigid? Especially in the international market for Africans.
Okay, so when I finished apprenticeship, uh, I was an aircraft maintenance engineer, right? And the opportunities that we were hoping for were to first of all work in our country, right? And then probably someone doesn't want to work in their country for various reasons. Then they choose to go outside. So for me, um, I would say the opportunities out here, there are plenty, right? Plenty opportunities. But now everything lies with what I was talking about, the licensing. Yes, you finished it in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Yes, you did this and that. But how many entry level positions are you going to get so that you get into the international world with no license, with no international benchmark? Yes, our Civil Aviation Authority license is recognized, but cannot be converted. So in most countries, right? So you have to get an entry level position, and it's tough. But the experience, you have it. In Zimbabwe offers you everything. It's actually from the way I was taught, I think it's in the world, it's one of the best because you go through workshops, you know how to fix let's say a seat if it's broken, you know how to fix the airframe. Let's say there's a dent on the aircraft, you need to fix and rivet. You know how to do that. You know how to paint, you know how to fix the actual aircraft and everything. You will know all that. But who will then listen to you if you don't have the document to say this is internationally recognized? So opportunities are plenty. Our skills, we know. When I was looking for a job after finishing apprenticeship, I knew I'm capable. But to convince someone who is at, for example, Qantas, to say, I'm coming from Zimbabwe, I know how to do this. How do I do that without a certain paper, without a certain license that is recognized worldwide? So opportunities are plenty, but one has to take the initiative to make them better, to make themselves better, I mean, to get those. The government will do their best because they want you to work in Zimbabwe because it's apprenticeship, right? On the job training. You'll be on point. But it's unfortunate, all of you won't be hired. Some of them, some of the people, they have to then look for jobs elsewhere because our industry is still small. There's nothing we can do about it. But so opportunities are plenty, but one has to make themselves marketable so that they go out there. So this is only the part for, like, I'm talking in the aircraft maintenance field. So now moving on to aeronautics. Because after apprenticeship, I then enrolled at UZ to do aeronautical engineering. So from there, I realized, okay, this field is very broad. So the opportunities in aeronautics are also very broad, but some areas are restricted. You need to work for ZINSA, your local space administration agency, to be recognized because you can't work for NASA coming from Zimbabwe. There's some security clearance, there's a lot of things. So, first of all, one is to be competitive in their own country to work at ZINSA. What are the skills that are needed there? The degree, yes, but what else can you do? That's the question. So it's not all about just getting the paper, like you said earlier. You get the paper, but you make yourself marketable. For me, I left Zimbabwe. I was doing aeronautics. I realized, okay, this is what fascinates me, right? I'm fascinated, drones fascinate me a lot, space, astronomy and stuff. And there's a field that one of my lecturers introduced us to, called computational fluid dynamics. I had to do the courses on my own to make myself, to benchmark myself with other students world over. So it only takes one to make themselves marketable. Otherwise, the sky is the limit. You are not limited. The opportunities are there everywhere. But what do you have to offer? If you only have the degree and the transcript, you don't have any skills. So, want something to say, I can also code. I can also do, I can also analyze the flow around the car. I can also make drones. I can also design a drone, things like that. So it's that's all I have to say about opportunities. There are plenty, but one has to make themselves marketable. Yes.
Favorite takeaway is that growth that you had to undergo on your own, because yes, paper, especially nowadays, this is going a lot of things. AI is the future. It's out in the anyway, like what most people no, it's just a phase that's going to pass. No, it's not going to pass. It's here to stay. So yeah, people should really take time to really invest more the paper that they would have graduated as you did, because yes, definitely marketable on the international market. We have a lot of and with just a
Yes.
one, not very easy. Most people think it's easy, but no, I just graduated from the University of Zimbabwe, so I'm just going to go because I have an honors degree. I passed my dissertation. But as you are putting that, there's experience, don't just go and work for NASA without working for without passing through Zinxa. And for you to actually get into Zinxa, you mentioned that you need to have certain skills on your as well. So this is something I think our viewers to Africa. This is something that you need to write down when you do your episode. You now know that okay, add this and this for me to be much. So now, Bevan, I want us to also look at the because here at Chiedza CheAfrica, we are all about promoting education among young people and especially even among girls, encouraging girls to enter into the STEM field. When you started this, you yourself, because everyone has different experiences, but will you say that from the experiences that you've had and the people that you've worked with, especially your specialty aeronautical engineering, is it more acceptable? Is it more open or more for girls, or it's something that that is still only male dominated?
Okay, so when I look at it, uh, the field, the aviation field is quite open to ladies as well. Mm, and okay, we have to give some examples so that everything just makes sense. Okay, so at 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 UZ, when I got to UZ, I was seated in class. Then I was like, okay, we are doing modules, we are passing, it's fine, but what can we do? Other than passing modules, other than writing assignments. So I had to sit down with my classmates. And I was like, okay, guys, we can start a drone club,
Okay.
right? We can start something that we can use the skills that we're learning in class. We have to use them, and we start this thing so that we test our skills, we test our competence, right? And the people who came on board, I really I worked with a senior of mine that time. His name is Jeremiah. Um, uh, uh, we we started off with a lot of ladies because they were so passionate about it, you know, and they did not look at, that spot. When people think about engineering, they see guys in the forefront and stuff, but they really came up. And we started drone club, and we for it to be successful. Today, it's there, it's still there at UZ. It was the people I worked with in the initial stages of that club, and most of them were ladies. So for ladies, um, I think the people who usually come to ladies and say you cannot do it are people who are thinking about manual labor. But where is manual labor when it comes to coding? Where is manual labor when it comes to designing? Where is manual labor when it comes to using your imagination to make something? And actually, the most aesthetically beautiful things that we designed were because of the ladies in the group. So, as Chiesa Africa is trying to advocate, for the girl child to join these fields, to be in aviation, to be in aeronautics, it's important to highlight that there is nothing called um, a male-dominated industry these days, because most things that I can do, another lady can do it perfectly and even better than me. So, to me, I'm actually shocked when people are talking about um, segregating ladies or something like that, because I've worked with them. I still work with them, and they actually perform quite well. They are focused, and sometimes they're focused better than other male counterparts in some fields. Like, think, um, when the viewers here, the ladies, there's nothing that can stop you from doing what you want. Any field, the world is changing. The aviation is not about lifting everything and stuff. It's about the mind. And we all have the same mind. So anyone can go for it. Uh, and yeah.
Better than you.
Sorry, one, come again. I didn't hear you.
That I'm doing this podcast better than you.
Yeah.
Each towards wrapping up this episode with I think the one question that on various aircraft and um also as someone who is deep within the aviation system, because it's broad, the community of aviation is broad. Is it possible for someone like me to also say I want to enter into aviation, and if it's possible, how does one really go navigate the entire system of in going into aviation, even if I don't have that much needed background in terms of science and mathematics subjects?
Okay, so aviation is like one field that I really like what Chiedza Africa is doing, because it's making it like people get to see like what is it about, and it's not as complicated as people thought. So first of all, getting into aviation, aviation is a lot of fields. Maybe you want to be into maintenance, you want to be into design, you want to fly the aircraft, you want to be in the security of things, you want to be into airport stuff and stuff. So I will speak on my behalf, as an aircraft maintenance engineer. Um, to be into engineering, it's easy. There are many pathways. One of them being apprenticeship. If you're in Zimbabwe, there's Zimbabwe apprenticeship programs. They are there every year. If you check, the adverts will come up, and if you don't see an advert, you can walk and go there and ask when is the next intake. They'll help you. Then if you don't find something in Zimbabwe, there's quite a lot that we can do in Africa. South Africa has other schools that one can do. So you don't need to have those rocket science subjects and stuff in high school and stuff. No, you need to just do, like I was saying, there are licenses to this. So someone who has studied the courses and got a license can be an aircraft maintenance engineer. You don't need to be Einstein to do it. You don't need to be exceptional. It's quite possible. And it's unbelievable, because most people think it's really tight to get into it. But trust me, if you do your modules with a certain school, you get the license, you become an aircraft maintenance engineer. And it's just you paying the money, passing the exams, getting the license, getting the experience, and getting employed at a reputable airline. If you want to go into design, go to high school, do your A level, do your maths, physics, chemistry, get your 15 points to be competitive, go to use it, or go to other schools. It's still it's another path as well, because you can get to do drones, you can do anything and a lot of things. So these are pathways. There's quite a lot of them. If you want to be a pilot, you just go to a flying school, and just pay the money, do the lessons, pass, get the hours. You're now a pilot. So most people don't know about it. It's quite easy to get into aviation. But you need to get into aviation with the correct papers, with the correct uh, schools, with the correct pathways, so that everything is just on point for you.
what? I think I'm the the kick that I wanted to, because Nyasha, you can start doing drones
Yeah, yes, that's true.
that way, and her was saying go into drones. I think I finally going to wake up and start doing
Yeah,
something.
yes, quite possible. It's easy.
An episode with you. My name is going to be saying praise the drone pilot. The name.
Okay, that's nice. I'm going to wait for that. Uh,
Close the episode. What does it mean to carry the Zimbabwean flag in such a high tech and global industry? And what is it? What are the take of the takeaway words you want a young viewer to go home with after watching this episode, especially someone here in Zimbabwe, maybe someone who's going to watch episode on someone's phone in a combi, but the child is in the remote areas. They don't have access to
mm.
information, knowledge. What is it that you want that certain child to hear?
Okay, so for someone who is watching out there, I'll just say the sky is not the limit. The sky is warm. We whatever you have on your mind, you can achieve it. But you just need to set your mind to it, research about it, and go for it. For some of us, I never thought that I would be here fixing aircraft. It seemed like something that is impossible, you know. But I have gone through the process that I was talking about, researching, going for it, asking, and there's no limit to what a human being can achieve. If someone can code a rocket to go to Mars, why can't you do it? If someone can fly an aircraft as big as an A380, why can't you do it? You have to ask yourself that question every time, every morning, everywhere you are. Why can't I do it as well? Because I'm also human. Yeah. So everything is possible. The sky is warm.
I think what you said good. If someone else can do it, why can't? So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, yeah, my list of superheroes. So if
You can do it. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
episode having this conversation with Bevan, I've definitely learned a lot. And I come from a different background. Those I'm industry, so I'm
Okay.
learning a lot that I'm able to really articulate. myself. And after you explaining so much of, because I didn't know my aeronautical engineering side, so I think I have homework to go and research more about it, so that in a place whereby someone cannot have the conversation with you, but I meet a child who's interested in aviation, because I have had this conversation with you, I can now articulate better. No, I want a conversation with Bevan. This is the steps that you can take if you want to reach a certain goal into aviation. So I think this
Yes.
is uh, having this conversation with you was very
Thank
for joining us today at the Chiedza CheAfrica podcast. And to the viewers, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the CheAfrica podcast, because we are all about STEM, education, community growth, and youth empowerment as well. Uh, Bevan, from us here at the Chiedza CheAfrica podcast, we say tender.
you. Amujitende. Okay, bye.